Okay, so in this tutorial we are going to be talking about the weld function in Cricut Design Space. So a weld does what you think a welding machine would do. It fuses two things or more together into one image or one word, one shape, things like that. So in the most basic form, let's just talk about welding shapes together. And this can be super useful if you just want to design your own shape, or if you don't have Cricut access and want to save some money, you can put a bunch of different shapes together to create things. So say we just have these two shapes and we just want to make this shape one. So I'm just going to use my cursor and I hold it down and drag so I get both of them in a rectangle. And then down here on the right side is the weld function. So I'm going to click on the weld function, and you'll notice that that overlapping line disappears. And up here, we only have one layer now. And so this is actually one shape. So when it cuts out, it's just going to cut out the outline of it, and it will be its own shape. So let me show you. Let's do let's say 3 circles, something like this. Let me actually just change a color just to show you. So over here on our layers panel, you'll see that we have 3 layers right now. So 3 separate things. So if I go and either drag my cursor down, or you can also use the shift key. I can click on one, hold my shift on my computer, click on another one, and keep holding my shift and click on the third one will also select all of them. So now I have all these selected, and I'm going to click on weld, and you'll notice they all turn one color because it's one shape now, and all of those overlapping lines disappear. So you could make, if you had the circle bigger, like a Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, ears, things like that. So that's a quick and easy way to create those type of things. Okay, so let's talk about welding words together. The only words you really need to weld together are script or cursive font. You don't need to weld just block letters together because they don't overlap. So anything that's overlapping is where you want to use the weld. So let me click on text. I'm just going to type in hello. And then up on my font, let's just find a script font here. So let's use this one here. And I'm just going to make this bigger so you can see it just by dragging this corner here. Okay, so right now when you bring it in, it's always kind of in a group. Click on it, that text box. So with this one, just change the color so we can see it a little bit better. So to combine these, what I do is I decrease the letter space up here. So I just start clicking on this and decrease it, and so they start overlapping how I want them. A lot of the fonts, they don't do this so nicely. I will show you that. A lot of them will overlap maybe a couple of them and not the rest of them. So on here it looks, because it's all one color, like everything flows together. But if we go to make it, and I haven't done anything to it. So this is just, it's still in a group, and you can see here that the group is not showing because it's already grouped. If I go to make it, you see how these lines are still here. So this will still cut these lines. So it will not cut one continuous shape here. Okay, so let me cancel this and go back. So now, while it's all selected, I'm going to click on the weld down here on the right side. So really it doesn't look much different, but you will see over here in the layers panel it does say weld. But now when we go to make it, you'll see that all those inside lines have disappeared. So it's one continuous fluid word right there. So this is how you want it cut out. You don't want those little tails in there cut out and things like that. Okay, so let me undo this. So if you want to undo a weld, you can either hit the back button up here, or your keyboard shortcuts are Control and Z, or on a Mac, I believe it's Command and the Z. But I'm just going to go go back and you'll see this converts to text. It doesn't say weld anymore. But let me show you. I know people get confused on the attach and the weld. So the attach actually just holds things in place. Say if I use this and I actually just click on attach, you'll see that it becomes attached up here, and when we go to make it, it is just one, but it still has those little lines in there. So these lines still will be cut out. That's why you want to always weld your cursive font together. Okay, let me do a different text and just show you. Okay, let's try another script. Font. Okay, let's say this one here. So I'm going to move these letters together, and they don't all come together as nicely as the last ones. Let me just make it bigger so you can see. So you can see these ones overlap, but these back ones don't. So what I do is come up to ungroup up here on the right side and click ungroup. And now you can move these letters individually. So I can move it over, move this one over. Okay, so now I'm going to use my cursor again and hold down my cursor and drag it around here. So again, right now they're all separate layers because I ungrouped them. So if I just group them back together, you'll see it's a group here. But if I go to make it without clicking on the weld or the attach, it actually breaks them all up. So this is Cricut Design Space tries to save space on the mat, so it will jumble them up if it's just grouped. So you'll notice, say I just hit attach on this one. So the attach, like I said, holds things together how you want them. So when you go to the make it, you'll see that it holds it together how the letters should be. So that's what the attach does. But let me actually change it back to a different color so we can see it again. Okay, so again, it's just attached right now. So again, like I said, it holds it together, but those lines are will be cut. So if it's black, you won't see that, and you might go to cut it and you're like, whoa, why are these little tails all cut out? And that's because you did not weld them. So I'm going to cancel it, and I'm going to come back, and now I'm going to weld this. Okay, so now when I go to make it, you'll see now all those lines are disappeared. So make sure you weld your script font. Make sure you put it together if you want it together and weld it. If you're doing multiple words, weld all of those together. Okay, so that's just kind of the most basic uses you'll use weld. I don't use weld a lot. The only thing I do use it for is my script font, really, and if I'm going to design something. So, but it is a must when you're cutting these kind of things out of really any material, vinyl or iron-on, things like that. I have a whole written tutorial on this too on my blog at leapoffaithcrafting.com, so that link is in the description, so you can hop on over there, and also make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of my Cricut tutorials.